Every day, thousands of men and women of different ages carry picks, shovels, wooden rafts, and lanterns into El Callao, a mining town in the south of Bolívar State that produces around 3,000 kilograms of gold per month. The complex humanitarian emergency in Venezuela and the gold fever unleashed with the creation of the Orinoco mining arc pushed them to migrate to a place with profound social injustice and to submit to dangerous and degrading activities. In recent years, El Callao and other towns of the mining arc have been the scene of an unprecedented internal migration for which there was no preparation. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the situation worsened. Despite the strict quarantine decreed in Venezuela in 2020, the demographic explosion was more significant than ever. Migrants without any experience venture to work in the different mines. They go into holes up to 50 meters deep, without safety equipment or respiratory protection, with accident risk, and die, walled up without any public record of the cases. They are called illegal miners. However, they are the ones who extract the material that arrives at the mills and is then marketed by the Venezuelan Central Bank, even though they know that it comes from mines in conflict, with deplorable human conditions, and that it was exploited with prohibited substances, such as mercury. In the Orinoco mining arc, deforestation, soil erosion, and contamination of rivers with mercury and cyanide continued to grow, and illicit economies such as fuel smuggling, drug sales, and arms trafficking were strengthened. Annually, the Orinoco mining arc produces around $2 billion in gold, but only a little more than $500 million enters the national accounts. More than 70% of the gold is smuggled by air, water, and land to neighboring countries, where its origin is erased, and it is exported to more distant destinations. Gold begins to leak from the early stages of the mining process. The miners must deliver, as vaccines, several bags of material to the criminal groups that control the mines. Each of the thousands of mills deliver around 300 grams of gold, or $15,000, to the criminal groups that dominate the area every quarter. In El Callao alone, with over 1,200 mills, criminal groups can pocket $18 million every 3 months. The mills keep the gold-bearing sands that they sell to the leaching plants. There, in strategic alliance with the state, gold is extracted using cyanide, activated carbon, and lime. But there is a lot of opacity surrounding the operation of these companies. It is not known who the partners are, how much gold they process, and how much they report to the BCV. Since the end of 2019, the national government has increased its presence in mining towns through the Venezuelan Mining Corporation, led by Major General Carlos Osorio. CVM provides the supplies that enter the mining towns, from materials for gold mining activities to food and fuel. The CVM logo is on trucks, gates, roadblocks, bags of gold material, t-shirts, posters, and more. CVM has entered most of the strategic alliances established with private companies for gold mining and the sale of mining supplies. In the mining towns of Bolívar, there is a significant presence of state security and defense forces. However, those who continue to rule there are the mining unions, which now call themselves El Sistema, criminal groups in control of illicit activities, which impose rules of coexistence and resolve family or commercial disputes through violence that has become normalized. These gangs kill, decide who enters or leaves the mines, how much and how it is worked, and what can and cannot be said, all imposed with the power of fire. Since 2020, the syndicates have been consolidated thanks to an apparent coexistence agreement with other gangs and some state security forces, according to testimonies gathered. The bloodthirsty leaders try to show a more human face by creating their charitable foundations, through which they hand out food bags, supply outpatient clinics, and repair schools. However, the massacres continue. Bolívar State ranks as the third most violent territorial entity in the country. Bloodthirsty acts and human rights violations are abundant in the entity. The absence of practical measures, the need to produce more gold, and the hunger for power has led criminal groups to penetrate even the lands of indigenous communities, affecting their traditional ways of life. The billions of dollars generated by the gold rush have only translated into prosperity for a few. It is urgent to change the reality in the Bolívar State, put an end to gold smuggling and the defenselessness of miners and indigenous communities, reduce criminal groups and guarantee the rule of law, stop the violence and environmental destruction of this valuable ecosystem. This restructuring is so complex that only with society and public opinion committed and actively working in favor of an integral Venezuela, change can be achieved. Every Venezuelan can and must participate in this.